Hi everybody, my name's Amir and today I want to talk to you about what autistic meltdowns actually feel like for our children, and I'm going to go through some practical steps that you can employ to help both you and your child get through them safely and hopefully go some way to preventing the next one also. You see, as parents of neurodivergent children, we all have that moment where our kids go from being like mildly annoyed to sounding like a jet engine's about to crash through our living room. And that's not bad behaviour, that is an autistic meltdown. And if you're anything like me, an autistic dad trying to raise two neurodivergent boys, those moments will feel completely terrifying. Inside, you'll be panicked and you'll be embarrassed, and all you're thinking is, I hope this don't happen in the middle of Tesco's or on the school run or just anywhere in public, really. And here's the thing, most videos tell you what to do during a meltdown, but hardly anybody goes some way to explaining why they happen, what they mean, and how to respond as a parent without completely losing your mind. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Simply put, this is the video that I wish existed 10 years ago. So let's get one thing straight. Meltdowns are not tantrums. A tantrum is when a kid wants control, and a meltdown is when that child has completely lost it. It's a difference between, I'm angry because you won't buy me a toy, and my brain just completely blue screen because the lights in the supermarket sound to me like I've got 1,000 bees buzzing around my head. Two inherently different things. Tantrums are somebody refusing to get off the motorway until they reach a McDonald's, whereas a meltdown is your car catching fire mid-journey and you as the driver desperately trying not to explode. And when my Zach has a meltdown, he's not being naughty and he's not manipulating me. His nervous system has hit maximum capacity and everything in his body is just trying to survive. And as somebody who's autistic myself, I get it. You see, my brain does exactly the same thing, only it's a lot quieter, and that's what we call an internal meltdown or a shutdown. This is where I withdraw, I become non-verbal, I feel numb almost, I feel confused and disassociated. It's like I am trapped in frosted glass while the whole world is talking around me. I can see words, but they're not quite landing. And in those moments, all I want is silence around me. All I want is peace and calm. But as a busy parent, it's really difficult to find that space and time for yourself. So we need to take those experiences and make sure that our kids get all the support and all the time that they need to get through their meltdowns. Because me seeing my Zach getting overwhelmed is not me seeing defiance. It's me seeing my younger self drowning in some sort of noise which only I can hear. And if you're the parent of a neurodivergent child, chances are you will see a reflection of your own overwhelmed moments in your child's meltdown too. Simply put, when you're dealing with an autistic child or an autistic adult, or if you're dealing with yourself, meltdowns are not a choice. They're not a tantrum. They are an involuntary reaction to sensory or emotional overload. And these manifest completely differently at different people. Sometimes they're on show for everybody to see, and at other times nobody will know what you're going through. But critically, both can be as devastating as each other. So what exactly is a meltdown? I'll try to explain it using a bit of science, but I'll keep it digestible. Now, imagine your brain is a power grid, and every sensory input, every light, every sound, every smell, every emotion is a wire. For neurotypical people, the system redirects that power wherever it needs to go without thinking. But for anybody who's neurodivergent, for anybody with autism or ADHD or similar, your system is already constantly running at full load. And when you add to that a scratchy jumper or a sudden noise, a surprise even, bam, the whole system blows. If you think at home, when you have a blown light bulb, what do? You wait for it to cool down, you then slowly take it out and you give it time, then you replace it with a different one. You don't just shout at it, or you don't scold it, or you don't tell it off, or you don't tell it to try and do better next time. I mean, we'd all end up sitting in the dark, right? And the same principle applies to a meltdown. There is no way to discipline somebody out of a neurological short circuit. Research shows that sensory overload can trigger intense stress responses in autistic kids. Think about increased heart rate, heightened cortisol levels, which is exactly what you see during a meltdown. And that's why meltdowns are so exhausting. They're not outbursts, they're collapses, heart racing, adrenaline flooding, logic offline. Try to reason during a meltdown? Well, it's about as useful as giving a TED talk to a fire alarm. So what do meltdowns feel like for the autistic individual? Think about the last time you were completely overwhelmed. Maybe you're sat in traffic, you're late for something and the kids are screaming in the back, your phone's dying and nothing seems to be moving and you just snap. Now multiply that by 10 and remove your ability to explain it. Add in the fact that you think that everybody sees you as the problem. That's a meltdown. It's not anger, it's distress. It's your brain screaming, I can't take this anymore. Please, I need to just stop the world. And when parents respond with shouting or punishment or lectures, it's almost like pouring gasoline onto a fire. And I've done it. I've been that bad. And all it taught Zach was to fear me in the moments that he needed me the most. So when you're dealing with somebody who is mid-meltdown, this is what works. Number one, prioritize safety and space. Move breakables, give them room, reduce noise. You're not ignoring them, you're keeping them safe. Number two, regulate yourself first. If you're panicking, your child will feel it. So breathe, lower your tone, be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Number three, drop the words. Logic doesn't work here. There's no point in asking somebody mid-meltdown to try and explain how they're feeling. It's too many questions. It's just too many words. Instead, use simple grounding phrases like you're safe or I'm here, or just stay silent. Presence speaks louder than lectures. Number four, comfort over consequence. This isn't the time to teach lessons. Soothe, don't lecture. They already know they've lost control, and for them, that's scary enough. So make sure you soothe, remind them that they're loved, even in all of that chaos. Number five, support, don't solve. After the meltdown, resist dissecting it immediately. Think of the light bulb, give it time, give it space, and later, gently explore some triggers. What did it feel like? What helped? Not blame, curiosity. And these are 5 simple strategies that you can use the next time a meltdown happens. Not in the abstract future, but immediately, right now. Simple things that you can implement to help you and your child. After a meltdown, your child might feel exhausted, they might feel ashamed, and they might feel numb. And honestly, so might you. That quiet parent guilt that we all have. Did I handle it well enough? Did I do something wrong? Could I have done better? That's perfectly normal. And here's the truth. Sometimes yes and sometimes no. Look, at the end of the day, we're all human. Just remember, your child isn't keeping score. They remember simply whether they felt safe. They remember whether you stayed. Meltdowns are storms. Look, you can't stop them, but you can be the shelter that doesn't move when the wind picks up. And realistically, we can't prevent every meltdown, but what we can do is raise the threshold for the next one. We do this by tracking patterns. When, where, why did the meltdown happen? Pre-warn transitions. Look, autistic brains do not like surprises. Build recovery time, quiet play, alone time, sensory decompression. Feed the brain. Hunger and tiredness accelerate meltdowns. Think hangry on a larger level. Use interests. Special interests aren't fixations, they are emotional seatbelts. And importantly, do not fear the meltdown. Sometimes the system just needs resetting. It's not rebellion. I'll be honest, when Zach has meltdowns, part of me still gets triggered. You know, part of me wants to run and part of me wants to Google boarding school with a no noise policy. You see, parenting autistic kids is as much about regulating yourself as it is about regulating them. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup, or in my case, an empty Starbucks at 7 o'clock in the morning. You see, last week, Zach had a meltdown over socks, and I stayed, I breathed, I sat quietly nearby, and when it was all over, he came up and he just gave me a cuddle. No words, just connection, and that's what matters. So if you've had one of those days where everything just feels a bit too much, know this. You're not failing. You're learning your child's nervous system language, and learning any language, being fluent in anything, takes time. Anybody going through an autistic meltdown isn't a person to fear. It is a person who needs help trying to make sense of the world around him. Our children aren't broken, and we're not bad parents. And those moments that feel like pure chaos, well, they're opportunities that allow us to show unconditional love in its purest form. So the next time it happens, breathe, lower your tone, and just remind yourself, it's not about control, it's about connection. And look, don't subscribe if you want perfect parenting tips, but if you want honesty, chaos, and the occasional sock-induced meltdown, feel free to follow me. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheers.